Morning everyone. Okay. So this is a session on sales, right? It is basically on sales and specifically financial product sales. So my first question to you is, how many of you here are into sales? How many of you are into sales? Okay, rest are not? Rest are not? Do you know, everybody lives by selling something. Whether you accept it or not, we all are into sales. You might be selling a financial product, some other product. I sell trainings. We both are into sales, right? But as a wealth manager or a wealth advisor, you are into a profession which can impact lives of people. There are few professions in the world which can actually impact the lives of people and make it better. And you have that power. You have the power to transform somebody's life for better. And all of us should use this power for the betterment of people we interact with. Now, do you know, there are two types of salespeople. There are two types of salespeople, and you are either of that. And please confirm me after this, which one are you? Right? The first one is called the hunter. The second is called the farmer. So either you are a hunter salesperson, or you are a farmer salesperson. So who is a hunter? Who is a hunter? Who is a hunter? For hunters, the philosophy is sales is a numbers game. Sales is a numbers game. Farmers' philosophy is sales is a people's game. Hunter says keep calling, keep following and you will get the sale. Farmer says build relationships and you will get the sale. Hunter says next one will say yes. Farmer says we have renewed the relationship for one more year. Hunter aims for new sign-ups. Farmer aims on renewals of relationships, right? Now, what are the traits of a hunter? Hunter builds rapport quickly, is persistent, independent, focuses on sales money and is directional. And who's a farmer? Builds relationship, focus on rapport building. They focus on rapport building and they are genuinely friendly. They are collaborative. Now, if I ask you which of the two you are, okay, let me ask a different question. Which is better, a hunter or a farmer? So suppose you are a sales head of a company and you have to build a sales team. Whom would you hire? Hunters or farmers? So you are farmers, you will hire a hunter. No. The question is a little tricky. Actually, in a sales team, you will require both hunters and farmers. Hunters to bring in clients, farmer to keep client. Right? It's actually a mixture. It cannot be one. Right? We somehow believe that farmers are better than hunters. We have been conditioned to believe that. I am sorry, that's not true. In your inside, you are either of one. And that's your primary trait. You are either a hunter or a farmer. Right? And I know many hunters who are doing very well in life. Because these are people who bring in clients. And revenue getters are more preferred in organizations over people who maintain relationships. Right? So now I again ask the same question. Are you a hunter or a farmer? Okay, how many hunters here? Just raise your hands. And be proud to raise your hands. You are people who get people. The most difficult task in the world is to get somebody to sign the check. Right? Great. And how many farmers? Okay. Now, how many are hunters how many are farmers who are forced to act as hunters? How many are farmers who are forced to act as hunters? Your business demands you to act as an hunter. Great. So generally I have seen hunters are around 25 to 30% of the population. Remaining are farmers, and around 15 to 20% are not acting as what they are. They are either hunter acting as farmer or farmer acting as hunter. Right? Chaliye. So, I'll take this further. There is something called your sales personality. There is something called your sales personality. Let's talk about your sales personality now. Right? We have a personality when we do sales, and I'll be talking about that sales personality now. Now, I have just drawn a graph here, right? On one axis of the graph is responder, second is leader, then thinker, and then feeler. Just replicate it in your notebook, in your notepad. Just replicate it. Just replicate it. We'll do a small exercise on this. We'll do a small exercise on this. So what we are trying to do is, we are trying to find out your presentation or sales personality. Right? You are either a thinker or a feeler. Out of these two, one. Then you are either a responder or a leader. I'll just give you the traits of both of them, and I'll tell you what to do. Imagine your 9-year-old self. Imagine when you are 9-year-old. In which quadrant out of these 4 quadrants would have you fallen? Right? Are you a thinker or a feeler? Are you a thinker? Do you work by your thinking? Do you plan everything? Or do you work on your feelings? So tick either thinker or feeler there. In that graph you just created, tick either thinker or feeler. One of the two. You are either a thinker or a feeler. And I'll just tell you who is a thinker. Do you rely on analysis or intuition in dealing with people? If analysis, you are a thinker. If intuition, you are a feeler. Do thoughts or emotions guide your decision? Are you thoughtful while taking decision? When you are 9-year-old, think about your 9-year-old self. Did emotions guide you or decisions? If former, you are thinker. If latter, you are a feeler. So just take one of the two, thinker and feeler. Now we'll go to the next quadrant. Are you a responder or a leader? Right? Do you prefer responding to needs or taking the lead? Do you react or do you proact? Do you pre-plan? Or do you react to situations? Right? Are you responsive to others, or do you initiate actions out of the two? So if you respond, you are responsive, then you are a responder. If you initiate actions and take lead, then you are a leader. Now you will have tick at 2 places. You have tick at 2 places? Yes, no? You would have ticked two places in 2 quadrants, and each quadrant there would be something in middle which gives you your sales personality. So if you are a responder and a thinker, you are a fascinator. If you are a responder and feeler, you are an inspirer. If you are a thinker and leader, you are an energizer. And if you are a feeler and leader, then you are a performer. And I'll give you the characteristics of all 4 of them. You get the exercise? Till here everybody is okay? Till here everybody is with me? Yes? So let me tell you who is a fascinator. Who are fascinators? Fascinators impress themselves by sharing wisdom and information that convinces and reassures the client that they are reliable. They sell on information. They motivate with their wisdom. They excel at planning. They are encouraging. They encourage clients. They are good audience, good listeners, and they share small details with the clients. Right? If you are an inspire people with their spirits, with their liveliness. They use their selfless and caring nature to meet others' needs. So they motivate with their spirits, their liveliness. They build rapport very easily, flexible and adaptable. They enjoy sharing their feeling with the clients. They are naturally caring, and they read people very easily. They enjoy sharing stories with people. So if you are an inspirer, these are your traits. And if you are an energizer people who inspire people with their courage. They are bold people. They build up clients' confidence. You do it, I am with you. This is their trait. They motivate their courage. They welcome competition and challenge. They are very passionate about their beliefs. They have leadership qualities inside them. Their presence is very powerful and they pump up their clients. They motivate their clients. They sell on motivation. And who are the performer? Entertain people. They engage their clients with their whole being, making client feel good. They impress while entertaining. They will crack jokes. They will tell humorous stories. Right? They can perform. They love the spotlight. They get others to ask for their performance. And they are good at relating people. So these are the 4 types of salesperson. Right? And if you know your type, you also know what would make you sell to people. If you are a performer and you act as an energizer, it won't work. It won't work. So you need to be true to your sales personality. Right? So let's talk about sales in financial advisory or wealth advisory. Now I go to the real sales methodology in this business what we are in. So in financial advisory, sales is a 3-step process. And what are the 3 steps? Prospecting, fact finding and closing the sale. Let me discuss one by one all 3 of them. One by one. Right? Let's talk about prospecting. What is prospecting? What is prospecting? When you find out potential buyers for your services and products, that thing is called prospecting. Right? And it is said, sales is made in fact finding and lost in close. When you do fact finding, when you ask questions to the client, you make the sale. But most people falter where? When they have to ask the check. So how many of you are afraid asking checks for the client? Because that depends on your sales personality. Now, if you are a hunter, your problem is you ask sale very quickly. You close it very quickly without doing the whole process. And if you are a farmer, you don't ask for sales. Yes, true, no? How many farmers agree to this? If you are a farmer, asking money from people is a problem with you. You are very good in building relationship, but when it comes to asking money, asking business, you are hesitant asking it. And as a hunter, you ask it too quickly. Too quickly. That's why they say sales is made in fact finder and lost in close. Right? Okay. So do you want to be a great salesperson? Yes. How many of you want to be a great salesperson? How many of you believe that you are a great salesperson? Great. Great. Rest of all, I'll help you. Okay. So let's see how can you become a great salesperson. Right? Do you want to close 50% more sales in half the time? Yes, no? Yes? Do you want to close 50% more sales in half the time? Yes? People at the back? Yes, no? Yes? So let me tell you how to do it. Let me tell you how to do it, and it works. It worked for me, it will work for you also. Right? And it would not be a normal sales presentation which you have heard. Something different. Right? How to close 50% more sales in half the time. Right? And we say it's a 6-step process for sales closure. Right? Now please pay attention. Every step is important. And many of us are making big mistakes while closing sales in financial advisory. Please look at it, process it, and then come to your conclusion. Right? Okay. The first step is create irresistible attraction. The first step is create irresistible attraction. Attract more business by being more genuine. Attract more business by being more genuine. First thing your client buys is you. They are buying their trust in you. Yes or no? Yes or no? Will they trust the real you or the fake you? Will they trust the real you or fake you? Real you. Are you real in front of your clients? No, we have built an image of a salesperson or wealth advisor, that he gives a card like this, he talks like this, he has a tie tucked in. Is that the real you? Is it what you are actually? Or do you want to be something else what you are not? No. Ask that question to yourself. Are you the real you in front of your clients? I am sorry to say 90% of wealth advisors are not their real you. They are fake. They act as fake. They have built a mindset that I should act like this and they are trying to act that. They are not being real in front of their client. Do you believe that? I have met thousands of wealth advisors and they are trying to be fake. Be your core self in front of a client. If you are a rustic village person, show that rusticness to the client. Don't try to act something which you are not. You will never build trust by being artificial in front of a client. You will only build trust when you are real. The client would always trust the real you, never the fake you. That's the first lesson in sales. Be genuine, not fake. Be what you are, not what you want to be. If you are a person who is very sophisticated, be sophisticated. But if you are not, then tell what you are. Let them judge what you are, not what you want to be. The most attractive version of yourself is yourself. You are most attractive and you don't need to prove anything to anybody. You are most attractive when you have a why. When you have a why. So how many of you have a why? How many of you have a why? Why am I in this business? Why are you in this business? To make money? To make money? No. Do you have a why? Why are you in this business? Really? No. Okay. So they say there are two most important days in a person's life. Most important days in person's life. The first one is when he was born. The first one is when he was born. And second is when he knew why he was born. So if I ask you this question, why were you born? What is the answer? You would live in this world for next 80, 90 years or total 80, 90 years? Yes, no? What impact would you leave behind by your existence in this world? That's your why. How would you change the society for better by your being there? When you die, how would people remember you? That's your why. That's your why. That's your why. No? So do you have a why? Do you have a why? Do you have something which they call purpose of life? Do you have a purpose of life? At different stages of life, you have different goals. Yes, no? Once you are born, after some year, the first goal was get admitted to a good school. Then complete your education, get admitted to an institution of higher education, good institution, reputed institution. Then complete your studies, get settled in career. Yes? Then marry, have children, build a house for yourself, fund children's education, their higher education, get them settled in life. No? get them married, go for a domestic vacation at least twice a year, maybe a foreign vacation once in 3 years, then retire and live happily after. Have I just summed up your life? Is this the life you are living? No? Is this the life you are living? Is this your purpose of life? And if this is the life you are living, it's a very boring life. It's actually very boring. If this is the purpose of your life, this you will do. Everybody did it. Some plus X or minus Y, something like that. Everybody does it. What is your purpose beyond it? That's my question. What is your purpose beyond it? That's my question. What more would you achieve in this life apart from this? That is purpose of life. That is actually purpose of life. So do you have a purpose of life? Do you have a why? Why am I in this world? No? So I'll do a small concept with you. Some of you might have heard this, but this is an apt time to discuss it. It's called the 5-ball test. It's called the 5-ball test. The 5-ball test says all of us in this world are acting as jugglers. You know jugglers? People who balance balls in air. All of you are with me? All of you are with me? So all of us are acting as jugglers. Do you know jugglers who balance balls in life? And we are the best jugglers of the world. Because we are balancing, we are continuously balancing things in life. Even if I call the best juggler of the world and ask him to juggle balls, at one time, he will be able to juggle maximum 5 balls. And we are the best jugglers of the world. Because we are also juggling these 5 balls continuously. But the names of these 5 balls are different in our life. The first ball which we are continuously juggling is called family. Second is work. Third is health. Fourth is friends. And fifth is religion, spirituality, purpose of life, whatever you call it. So these 5 balls we are continuously juggling. Which are these? Family, work, health, friends, your social life, and your spirituality, purpose of life, religion, whatever you call it. Even if I call the best juggler of the world and ask them to balance these 5 balls for their entire life, at some stage of life, they will have some problem. And they will miss catching some ball of other. Yes or no? It is bound to happen. Or it might happen. Now and one of these balls would fall to the ground. They will miss catching it. Yes? Now the beauty is, out of these 5 balls, some balls are made of rubber and some are made of glass. If a rubber ball falls, no problem. You'll just pick it up or it will bounce back. But by chance a glass ball falls, then what will happen? Permanent damage. Yes or no? All of you are with me? Because I am not getting responses. So I have to ask again and again. All of you with me? Now my question to you is, and answer it very truthfully. Out of these 5 balls, which ball are you treating as a rubber ball in your life? Whom would you take more care? Glass ball or rubber ball? Glass ball. So out of these 5 balls, which one are you treating as a rubber ball? Which one is actually, that's not what I am asking. I also know which is actually rubber or which is glass. But I am asking you, which of these have you been treating as rubber balls in your life? Out of family, work, health, friends and spirituality. Which are you treating as rubber ball in your life? Give me answers. This is a workshop, it's not presentation. Yeah. Which one? Oh, how many are treating their family as rubber ball? I am not writing is a rubber ball. Please understand. I'm asking, are you treating them as a rubber ball or not? Are you taking care of them as a rubber ball or not? I also know family is not a rubber ball, it's a glass ball. Actually, I'll tell you the answer. What I have learned from so many years of working in industry. All of us are only treating one ball out of these 5 balls as glass ball. And rest is rubber. Treating. And that glass ball for us is work. Work. Only work. Are we all not guilty of ignoring our family for work? Yes, no? If you are a yes, say yes loudly. Yes. Are you not treating your health as a rubber ball? You are ignoring your health because of your work? Yes. Yes. Are you not treating your friends as rubber balls? And you are ignoring your friends? And work has become the purpose of your life. Yes, no? So which is the glass ball? Work. Rest 4 are rubber balls which you are treating. Actually, the real world, it is opposite. The only rubber ball in your life is work. Rest 4 are glass balls. Rest 4 are glass balls. Family 100% glass ball. Agree? Health 100% glass ball. Something happens to health, is irreversible. Now people ask me, how can you say friends are glass balls? I make new friends every month. So how can you say friends are glass balls? Now my simple question to you is, when was the last time in your life you actually made a friend? When was the last time in your life when you actually made a friend? Tell me. School days, not after that, not even in colleges. I am sorry. Because only an innocent person, non-knowledgeable person, non-intelligent person can make a friend. Intelligent people don't make friends. Once you become intelligent, you can't make friends. Then what you make are called associates, not friends. No? No? True, not true. Because friendship is when it is done a relationship without purpose. If there is a purpose to relationship, it cannot be friendship. It is, I am sorry to say, it's not friendship. No? Okay, let me ask you a question differently. How, you remember your first day to school? All of you remember your first day to school? That day you made a friend. All of you made a friend that day. And that was your first knowingly created relationship in life. All relationship before this was God decided. This was your own choice. Is the same person your friend till today? Very few people would say yes. What happened to such a beautiful relationship? Simply what happened was you stopped giving time to that relationship. No? Your school got changed, his or her school got changed. No? They found somebody else, you found somebody else. Whatever it was. But what happened was you stopped giving relationship the time it required. That means all relationships require what? Time. Time. And do you have limited time or unlimited time to make friends? Limited time. So use that time very knowingly. And I can give you a data point. It has globally been proved by research. People who have friends, real friends, not the associates. People who have friends live longer and healthier than people who don't have friends. That is a global phenomenon. Various research have proven that. Why? Why? Because loneliness is the biggest problem at retirement age. What's the biggest problem at retirement? Loneliness. Loneliness. And these friends would not make you lonely. You ask any retired person, what's your biggest problem? Time nahi katta. This is what they say. Why? Because they are lonely. These friends are your insurance in old age. Don't treat them as rubber balls. They are the glass balls in your life. No. So I am motivated to talk little bit more about friendship. Right? Because you are responding most to friendship. Okay? So do you know the difference between friend and best friend? Do you know the difference between friend and best friend? What's the difference between friend and best friend? Friend, you discuss things. Best friend, you discuss all things. Very simple. That's the only difference. Friends, you discuss things. Best friends, you discuss everything. True, not true? Yes? Now I'll make a statement which you will not agree in public. Right? But I'll still make that statement. For most of you, your spouses are not your best friend. Because you do not discuss everything with your spouse, or you cannot discuss everything with your spouse. Why? Why? Because a best friend knows you inside out. Your spouse also knows it. But your best friend accepts you as you are. And they say you will never change in life. What does a spouse try to do? He or she wants their type. I will make him my type. So because of that, you hesitate discussing everything with your spouse. But if you have a best friend, please treat them or him or her as glass ball in your life. They are the biggest glass ball in your life. Never treat your friend or the best friend as a rubber ball in your life. It's a big truth. And last comes the purpose of life. Do you have a purpose of life? The day you will have a purpose of life, it would become your biggest glass ball. That is the reason for my existence. That is why I am existing today. That's the reason why I came to this world. How can it not be a glass ball? It has to be a glass ball. Right? The only rubber ball in your life is work. How many of you thought in your school or college that on growing up I'll become a mutual fund distributor, financial advisor or wealth manager? How many of you had an aspiration to become this, what you become? But you became this. Tomorrow if this is taken away from you, you will become something else. No. No. This is replaceable. Work is the only replaceable thing in life. No. Chalo. I usually tell a story here. I'll tell the same story today. And this story I have written for wealth advisors and mutual fund distributors only. Listen to this story carefully. If you are a wealth advisor or mutual fund distributor, you will relate to this story. And as all stories in India, we start with once upon a time. So once upon a time, there was a king. Right? There was a king. And in his kingdom, there were two thieves which were causing lot of trouble for the king. And king one day became very fed up listening to their complaints. Someday they would commit a crime somewhere else and so on. So the king says, anybody who catches these two thieves, I will give him 100 gold coins. I'll give him 100 gold coins. Within a week, a person was able to catch those two thieves. And the two thieves are brought in front of the king. The king, on seeing these two thieves, becomes very happy and gives this person who caught the thieves the 100 gold coins. Next day morning, these two thieves are produced in the king's court. King, on seeing these two thieves, becomes very angry. He says, tomorrow morning at sunrise, hang both of them. Right? Now, one of these thieves was very intelligent. He tells the king, if you give me 3 months, I can teach your horse how to fly. The king thinks, I am the only king in the world whose horse even flies, and I have nothing to lose. So he says, okay, I give you 3 months. And he sends them back to their barrack, right, to their jail cell. Now the two thieves are alone again. Now the second thief who had been quiet till now asked the first thief, and listen to this carefully. He says, "Are you mad? Horses don't fly." Now listen to the first thief's answer. It is the crux of everything which I have told. The first thief says, "I have given myself 4 chances to live in these 3 months. And what are the 4 chances? Maybe in these 3 months this king dies. We will live. Maybe in these 3 months I die naturally. No risk. Maybe in the 3 months, the horse dies and we'll survive. But there's a fourth option also, fourth chance also. Maybe the horse learns how to fly. No, you don't understand. What have you been doing for the last 15-20 years? Flying horses. आप कर क्या रहे हो? पिछले 15-20 साल से घोड़े उड़ा रहे हो, घोड़े नहीं. SEBI tried everything, GST tried everything. उसके बाद क्या हुआ? आपका घोड़ा उड़ा ना? नहीं उड़ा. उड़ाया ना घोड़ा. और जिसको एक बार घोड़ा उड़ाना आ जाता है वो किसी ना किसी का उड़ा लेता है. Trick was to learn how to fly a horse. Now you know how to fly a horse. If tomorrow MF is not there, somebody else would be there. Because you have now learned the trick how to fly horses. So work is the only rubber ball in your life. Do not compromise on those glass balls because of this rubber ball. Very, very important that you don't become very, very focused on work and ignoring these glass balls in your life. Right? So, you should have a why. And what should be your why? What should be your why? How will I bring more happiness, success and freedom to my clients? How will I give more happiness, success and freedom to my clients? That is your why. That is your why. Okay. So, I have done this. I'll just ignore. How will you offer your clients more happiness, success or freedom? That can be your why. But you need to find your why. You need to find your why. Right? This is something which I made for a typical advisor. I'll bring more stability into a client's life with a vision and plan. I'll give him success by teaching him not to procrastinate. I'll give him freedom by focusing on things he enjoys doing and less time to worry about money, etc. So these could be an example of why. Just an example, you have to find your why. Right? Okay. Now I come back to the step number 2. Put the clients at ease. That's the step 2 in sales. Make the client feel safe with you. Make the client feel safe to you. First was irresistible attraction. Second is put the client at ease. Second step in sales is put the client at ease immediately. Make the client feel safe with you. Right? Adopt the abundance mentality. There are 2 types of mentality. One is called the desperate girlfriend mentality. And second is called abundance mentality. So when you go to a sales call, you will have either of the 2. Either you will say, if she says no, what will happen to me? Or you will say, if you are not there, somebody else is there. So what mentality you have when you go to a client call? Abundance or desperation? Look inside you. What actually you have? Because if you are desperate, it is visible to the client that you are wanting business. You are desperate for business. And if you have the abundance mentality, he knows, if not me, he'll go to somebody else. No? Testing if you have abundance mentality. When a client says no, how does that make you feel? Are you angry or happy? Do you have fun with it or do you want to get even? No. This is what you need to check. Just saying that I have a abundance mentality won't work. So when a client says no to your proposal, what do you think? Do you feel angry or happy? Do you have fun with it, or you want to even one day I will tell him, one day he will repent, saying no to me? Out of these, what is your mentality? Chaliye. I'll give you a way to do that, right? To have the abundance mentality later. When you are in a sales call, a client call, who has the control of the sales process? Who controls the call? You or the client? Yeah. See, I just told you it's not a presentation. It's a workshop. And workshop is when you answer and I ask. It needs to be interactive. Right? If it's not interactive, you will lose half of it. So my question to you is, when you are into a sales call, a sales meeting with your client, who controls the sales meeting? You or the client? You? If somebody controls you, then are you more likely to say yes, or somebody has given the freedom, he's more likely to say yes? My question is very simple. If somebody controls you, would you say yes more? Or when somebody is free, he is more likely to say yes? What do you think? Second, na? And that's the biggest mistake financial advisors or salespeople do. They try to control the client. It's not control. It's about giving freedom. It's about giving choices. Right? It's about when will the client feel more safe? Understand the difference between leading and controlling. You should lead the sales process, not control it. You should lead the sales process, not control it. Give the control in the hand of the client. But you are the person who is leading it. आपका काम सारथी वाला काम है, सारथी. आपको क्या बोलूं मैं? निवेश सारथी. Your work is leading the client, not controlling them. Not controlling them. Right? Not controlling them. And how can you give control to the client? How can you give control to the client? By making it very easy for the client to say no. By making it very easy for the client to say no. So if I ask you a question, and I just ask all of you a question. Is investing important to you? And it is okay if it is not. Please, this is my first interaction with the client. I ask him a question. Is investing important for you? And it is okay if it is not? What will be your answer? No. Is investing important to you? And it is okay if it is not? If you are the client and I am having this conversation with you, what will you answer? Yes, saving is important for me. Because the answer is only one. But I have given you a choice of saying no. I ask a universal truth and give them an answer to say no. That makes them believe that the control is with them, not you. No. Now if your answer is yes, investing is important for me, my next question is why? Why is it important for you? Tell me, why is it important for you? Why is investing important for you? So I will take you to goals. But I am not asking that question to you, I am just leading you to that question. Now this is your truth. When you say, I will attain my goals, I will say, which goals? This is called probing. This is called probing. When I say, sales is made in fact finder and lost in closure, this is what I mean. When I ask you intelligent question, I am selling. But when I start selling you actually, trying to close it, I lose it. I lose it. And I'll come to that part. You understand the difference? How to give control? How to give control to the client? Right? Step 3 is build trust with the client. Build trust with your client. And what is trust? What is trust? Trust is your credibility, your reliability, and your intimacy. Trust is the sum of your credibility, your reliability, your intimacy. Right? Credibility means your reputation. What people think about you, what people talk about you, how do people talk about you behind your back. That is your credibility. And it is also about your reliability. What is your reliability? Do you make promise? Do you keep promises made to the client? Or do you make promises to the client which you can keep only? Yes, that's your reliability. And intimacy, your relationship with the client. How strong is the relationship with the client? Higher is the credibility, higher is the reliability, higher is the intimacy. Trust will go up. What brings down trust? Self-orientation. When you start working for yourself, trust goes down. So as long as you were working for the client, trust kept on increasing. Moment you start working for yourself, trust goes down. Yes, no? Right? So who do you work for? If I ask you this question, AUM or the client? I'll give you 3 options. You work for yourself, the AUM or the client. Out of these 3, what is your answer? Whom do you actually work for? Tell me the truth. Whom are you actually working for? Yourself, AUM or the client? If you are not working for the client, neither are you working for yourself nor for your AUM. This business is all about client. Nothing but the client. Nothing but the client. In the long run, self-focused behavior is less successful than his client-helpful behavior. Collaboration beats competition. Trust beats suspicion. Profit flows not to those who crave them, but to those who accept them gracefully as an outcome of client service. This is the biggest truth of this business. This is the biggest truth of this business. Always the client. This business is nothing but client. Nothing but client. So, there's a test to find out whether you are actually working as a trusted advisor or not. And let me do that test with you. Right? Because all of you are saying we work as a trusted advisor. And what's the test? Have you ever recommended a competitor's product to a client? Have you gone to a client and said, my product would not work, my competitor has a product which will work better for you? How many of you say yes? How many of you say yes? So very few. Chalo. These very few, I ask a question. If your answer is yes, but it is yes for these reasons, still you are not working for the client. And the reason is, when the client was not very important for you, so you had to tell something, you told him the competitor's product. When you were anyway going to lose the client, so you said, he's going, let me tell him something. So you told a competitor's product. Or when you didn't have anything viable to offer, so you had to tell a competitor's product. And the last reason is when you figured out my competitor's product is even worse than my product. So first I will tell this, then I will tell the shortcomings. In the end, I will end up selling my product. If you do it for these reasons, you are still not working for the client. You are not still working for the client. If your honest answer is yes, is when you honestly felt that an important client would be better served in an important case by going for a competitor's offering. Right? You know dogs? You know dogs? You know dogs can smell fear? Dogs can smell fear? Yes? Well, clients can smell self-interest a mile away. Client also know whom you are actually working for, yourself or the client. Is the client intelligent? Are clients intelligent? The money you are asking them to invest, they have earned it. At least some intelligence they will have. Yes, no? Respect their intelligence. Respect their intelligence. Right? It is when need to run a profitable business in given primacy in every transaction, every quarter, every sale, that clients call your motives into question. Motives into question. Right? So I'll come to the next part, and that is coach your client. Step 4 is coach your clients. Coach your clients. Guide your prospects to reach to their own conclusions. Right? So are you a product salesperson or a coach? Are you a product salesperson or a financial coach, wealth coach? What is your job? Or is it a salesperson? Let us find out. Let us find out. How to coach your client? By asking anchoring questions. That's the first step in coaching. Ask anchoring questions. Right? You identify a client's core belief and value and ask questions leading them back to their value. You know the client truth and ask question about their truth. I just asked you one of the questions before. Is saving important to you? It's an anchoring question. If you ask a client and then it says it is okay if it is not. If I ask a client this question, what will he say? What would every client say to me? Yes. My next question would be why? Why is it important for you? And by asking that why, I get to know his core problems, core reasons. Sales is not some rocket science. It is very, very easy and logical. You need not be reading thousands of books and then you become a salesperson. It is the basics which are very important in sales. Right? I'll ask you another question. Is being responsible with your money important for you? Is being responsible with your money important for you? If you ask a client, are you responsibly saving and investing your money? What would most people say? They have a doubt. Am I doing it correctly or not? Yes or no? Most people would have a doubt. That's the reason I'm asking. Is being responsible with your money or for your money important for you? Why is it important? Still the answer would come, I want to achieve this goal, this objective, this and this, so it's very important. So I'll take them back to my answer by asking a question. Right? Actually, in the end, it is always the same answer. The questions are different. Very good question to ask. One of the best questions I have found till date to ask. Does the idea of all your investment and assets working together as part of interconnected portfolio make sense to you? As opposed to the fragmented approach you have been following? You understand this question? You understand the question, the power of this question? Are all my investment aligned, in sync with each other? Or am I the usual person, he gave me this tip, I invested, he gave me that tip, I invested? Is there some system to this madness of your investment? Most people are investing how? Most people are investing how? Without a plan, without a system. Their investments are not in sync with each other. They don't relate to each other. I go to him, I tell him this is a good product, he'll buy it. Somebody else goes to him, this is a good product, he'll buy that also. So does he consider how to actually create a synchronized portfolio, not a fragmented investment portfolio? No? So there is a doctor's analogy. Analogies are very powerful, right? So when I was at the front end, I was dealing with many doctors for investments and wealth management. And the biggest problem with a doctor is gathering data. They think that you are some medical representative who has come to them and flick some things and then you will go in 15 minutes. And they expect an answer from you within that 15 minutes. That's the basic mentality of every doctor. You know, they have been so used to a MR selling them things that they think we are the medical representative. So one day, my doctor, one of my doctor who was my family doctor, he was very reluctant giving me information about his finances. So one day I asked this doctor, sir, when I come to you and I ask you about my problem, you start asking me questions, right? What medicines are you taking? Right? What have been your previous health condition? Why do you ask me those questions? He said, how can I give you medicine without knowing this? I said, same is with me. How can I tell you where to invest until I know the answers to this? You prescribe medicines, I prescribe investments. The process is the same. You are getting a point? Right? This is a very good question to ask your question to client. Okay. Does the idea of getting the highest level of return for the amount of risk you take important for you? Just process this question. Does the idea of getting the highest level of return for the amount of risk you take important for you? You are taking some risk? Yes, no? Are you getting the highest level of return for the risk you are taking? Are you sure? Do you want to get the highest level of return for the risk you are taking? Yes, no? Yes? So it is called the efficient frontier. So what I'll do is I'll draw this frontier in front of the client. On one axis is the risk, another axis is return. This is the efficient frontier? No. Do you understand efficient frontier? See, I'll just use this thing. See, this axis is risk, this axis is return. For every level of risk, I would like to be at the highest point. Yes or no? Would you like to be here or here? Above. But above is not possible. The maximum possible is this line. Yes or no? You get this point? Everybody would want to be the highest level, but there is something not possible. If I am taking zero risk, I cannot get more than 4% return. Is it possible? A T-bill giving 6% return is possible? No. So that's the highest possible, na? So at every stage of risk, the return keeps on increasing. But there's a maximum to it. If I join by a line all maximum returns for different levels of risk, this line is drawn, the black line you see, and that's called the efficient frontier. You get it or not? Now, would you like your investment to be on this frontier or below this frontier? Are you sure all your investment are on this frontier? Would you like me to analyze? Would you like me to advise how to reach to this efficient frontier? Yes, no? Yes? 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 So I have a sales. I have a sales by just selling a efficient frontier kind of thing. Right? Those basic things which we learn in finance, we are not using them in sales call. What are you selling on? Returns. The worst thing to sell something is on returns. No. Then it talks about Sharpe ratio. So how many of you are selling Sharpe ratio to a client? Okay. What is Sharpe ratio? What is Sharpe ratio? Risk adjusted return. So it is basically, this is basically return divided by risk. I'll just put that formula because that's not there. So it's basically, I'll do it very simple. Standard deviation of the security minus risk-free return upon, risk of the return of the security minus risk-free return divided by the standard deviation of the security. That's called Sharpe ratio. So you have two funds. You have two funds. One fund is giving you, I'll just sorry for that. Are you able to see? Oh, can you focus it on this and show it? इस पे फोकस कर दो और उधर सामने दिखा दो. You have fund A and you have fund B. A is giving you 15% return, B is giving you 25% return. These are the returns. Right? Now, which fund would you choose? You choose B. Right? Now, standard deviation of A is 10%. And standard deviation of B is 20%. Which one will you choose? Which fund would you choose now? So you will choose a fund with 15% return and leave a fund with 25% return. Why? Because what have you done? You have divided both of these. You have found out return per unit of risk. Yes or no? You have found out return per unit of risk? No. Return is the reward. Risk is the cost. You cannot only see the reward, you have to see the cost. No, it's also called reward to variability ratio. Reward to cost ratio. So you say I am getting higher reward here for the cost I am paying. Here I am getting lesser reward for the cost I am paying. Now try telling a client that fund A is better than fund B because the Sharpe ratio of fund A is better than fund B. What will the client understand? What will the client understand? Is it not your job to make him understand also? No. So do you like ignorant clients or intelligent clients? No, answer it. Do you like ignorant clients or intelligent clients? Always intelligent is better than ignorant. In the long run, they are better. Getting business with ignorant is easier. Keeping it is very difficult. Intelligent client you will be able to be. Now, how will you explain a Sharpe ratio to a client who is ignorant? So suppose I'm nothing to demean them. Suppose you want to explain it to a rickshaw puller, a auto driver, a waiter, a bus driver. That Sharpe ratio of fund A is better than fund B, so I bought fund A. Can you do that? No, I can do that, and you can do that by using analogies. So if I have to explain Sharpe ratio to a client, I will give them an example, an analogy. Analogy would be like this, and listen to this carefully, it will work like magic. I'll tell the client, suppose outside your home, there are two cages. Cage, you understand? Pinjre? Cage. In both the cages, there is one gold coin. Right? So you have two cages in front of your house. In both the cages, there is one gold coin. In one cage, there is a cat sitting. Second cage, there is a lion sitting. Where should I take the gold coin? This is Sharpe ratio. This is Sharpe ratio. No, this is not Sharpe ratio. For the same level of risk, from the same level of return, I am taking less risk. That is Sharpe ratio. Yes or no? Okay. Another very misused term, I would say, is alpha. Alpha. When you talk to a client about alpha, what does he understand alpha? What is alpha? Here also I will use an analogy. Now my example would change. I would say, suppose outside your home, there are not one cage, there are thousands of cages there. Right? All cage have one gold coin and a cat sitting. But some cages, they have 2 gold coins or 3 gold coins. That extra gold coin is a alpha. That extra gold coin is an alpha. And the fund manager job is find those cages and take out. For the same risk, if he can give me higher return, more return, that's alpha. But slowly what would happen? Slowly what would happen? These cages would become less and less. People would find them, take out the gold coin. Now it's as good as the other cage. Because still it has one. Now it is only one cage, one gold coin and one cat. So slowly, alpha would become difficult finding. As markets mature, alpha becomes difficult to find. That's the reason you have so much talk about passive and active. If all cages are same, why should I pay a fund manager to choose a cage? Everything is same. Yes or no? That's alpha for you. Okay, chaliye, good. So how to coach your client? Use analogies. I just use an analogy. A picture is worth 1,000 words, but an analogy is worth 1,000 pictures. It is so powerful. It is so powerful. And you see our traditional system in our villages, they have so many analogies. They have so many analogies. Nahin. In your villages, they have so many analogies or not? The traditional Indian village or traditional Indian society has analogies. नहीं? चलिए एक हिंदी में आपको एनालॉजी समझाता हूँ, आप समझिए, आप में से कितने लोगों को समझ में आती है नहीं, और हंसिएगा मत, ठीक है? हाँ, पहले ही बोल रहा हूँ, आप सोचिएगा क्या कह रहे हैं। तो मेरे एक फूफा जी थे, वो कहते थे, वो गांव से आते थे, वो कहते थे खा कचौड़ी ओढ़ दुशाला रोएगा दामों वाला। नहीं भाई, लाइफ में मस्त रहो, जिसको तुमसे पैसे लेने वही रोएगा। नहीं, फिर वो कहते थे चलेगा हलक तो क्या करेगा खलक। इफ यू कीप ऑन ईटिंग, तो कोई आपका क्या बिगाड़ लेगा। राइट, तो दीज आर एनालॉजीज। एक मैसेज इतनी छोटी सी बात में ट्रांसफर हो जाता है। दीज आर एनालॉजीज, राइट? ओके, तो लेट मी गिव यू एन एनालॉजी फॉर अ लाइफ इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी, राइट? Analogy for a life insurance policy, because most of our sales is done across the table. Yes, no? So the table sales becomes very important in our life. So I'll give you an analogy for a table sales for life insurance policy. So suppose this is your child, and the child life is dependent or is standing on 4 legs. The first leg is the mother, second is the father, third is the school, and fourth is the home. You have the 4 legs on which the child's life is standing. So you sit in front of a client, draw this stool with 4 legs and name these 4 legs. Now, generally, if father is the only earning member, he is the person who is bringing money. Yes, no? Mother is a homemaker. Suppose it's a family like that. If something happens to the father, what will happen? Mother would start working to support the family. The second leg is gone. They have a house on housing loan, which is not insured. The house is gone, they'll have to change the house. Because they have to change the house, the school also gets changed. So your child is like this. Is in case something happens to the breadwinner, the earner. What if I can insure by paying a small premium that these 4 legs are always with your child? That is life insurance. That is life insurance. No? It's actually that. So it's an analogy. It's an analogy. Another analogy. Life insurance. So suppose you are on this trapeze and below is what? The net. Net is what? Life insurance. In India there is a disease, a very big disease. And what's the name of the disease? KILB. KILB. कम इंश्योरेंस लेने की बीमारी, नहीं, KILB. Now, would you like these nets to be very closely woven, or would you like big gaps in this net? What would you prefer? Closely knit? If it will be closely knit only if you have adequate insurance. You are earning 20 lakh rupees a year and you are insured for 25 lakh rupees. And then you say to me, I am insured. Are you really insured? You are even worse than a person who is not insured because you are in a false impression, I am insured. Yes? Yes? It's an analogy. So we meet clients who says, I don't have a family, so I don't require life insurance. So I ask a client who is not having a family right now, he's into teenagers, just started earning. I ask this client, if you today buy a house, will you buy a 1 bedroom, 1 BHK studio apartment or a 3 bedroom house? If you can afford, what would you prefer? What would you prefer? 1 bedroom or 3 bedroom? 3. Why? You don't have a family? Why? Future point of view? Because you want to use it for future. Same way for life insurance. Today you will get it cheap. Tomorrow you will have to pay more premium. No? Same or not? Same. Analogy. Analogy. Trick is analogy. No? Oh, this is a controversial one. Huh? This is actually a controversial one. It may work, may not work. But if you cannot convince them, create a doubt. If you can't convince them, create a doubt. So, we all know term policy is better than paid up policy. But what do you want to sell? Most of you, or most of people, or most of advisors want to sell a paid up policy. Zyada hai. So ask a client, if you buy a house, would you buy your own house or a rented house? If you have to move in, what would you prefer, a own house or a rented house? Term policy is rented insurance. You are only paying rent for the insurance and you get nothing in the future. I know it's wrong. I know it's wrong. But if you want to sell it, you create a doubt. I also believe term policy is much, much better than paid up policy. But I am telling you the power of an analogy. It creates doubts. It convinces people. Analogy is so powerful. It's actually the most powerful thing when it comes to sales. Use analogies. Use analogies. Step 5 I'll do. Secure a commitment around the plan. It's the most important step in sales. Create a commitment around the plan. Right? What does this mean? Make the plan their plan. Right? Sell the method, not the product. Always sell the process, not the product. What you need to sell is process, process, process. Never the product. Never the product. Make the client commit to method of money management, not the product or steps involved. In fact, I say, if you even mention product one time during the sales call, you have lost the sales. आपने अगर एक बार भी प्रोडक्ट बोल दिया सेल्स को क्लोज करते हुए, आपने खराब कर दी सेल्स. What you need to sell is process, process, process. Never the product. Never the product. I'll do that later. I'll tell you a process. I'll give you a process. So, can you focus here? Yeah, thank you. Chaliye, how many of you are using asset allocation? How many of you are using asset allocation to sell to clients, to close sales? asset allocation becomes the clincher. I'll tell you a method, a table sales method to use asset allocation. And works beautifully. Works beautifully. So if I have to sell a client asset allocation, this is what I will draw and do on a piece of paper. Right? So I'll draw a diagram like this. I'll draw a diagram like this. Sorry. Right? Here I'll write 0 to 2. Here I'll write 2 to 4. Here I'll write 4 to 6. And here I write 6 plus. And these are years. And these are what? Years to goal. Years to your objective. Yes, no? You understand till here? These are years to goal. Right? Now, client would have different goals. Right? Suppose within 0 to 2 years his goal is vacation. A foreign vacation. Space is less, I'm writing a little bit. 2 to 4, new car. 4 to 6, child education, higher education. 6 plus, retirement. Suppose this is your client's goal which you found out. Right? So I will tell a client that I will use asset allocation as per this diagram for your different goals. 0 to 2, it would be 100% debt. 2 to 4, it would be 80% debt, 20% equity. 4 to 6, it would be 50% equity, 50% debt. And here it would be 80% equity and 20% debt. So I'll make a portfolio, different portfolios for different goals, and this would be the asset allocation. Till here, okay? Right? Now suppose, now I'll give you the client a scenario. Suppose the market falls by 25%. Market has gone down by, suppose tomorrow the Sensex crashes by 25%. How would your clients react to it? Just imagine. They'll be in panic. They'll start calling you. But you have done this with them. And you tell the client, I have done this with you. Right? Now your goal, which is vacation goal, the loss is 0%. Yes, no? All of you are with me? Here the loss is 0%. Here the loss is 5%. 25 into 20%, 5%. This is 5% down. This is 12.5% down. Right? Yes, no? And this is maximum 20% down. This is what will happen? True? All of you are with me? Now my question to the client is, do you think, will say your vacation money is 100% safe, your car money has gone down by 5%. Now I will ask another question. Do you think in next 4 to 6 years, Indian stock markets would recover? Yes or no? So is your money at risk? So I am giving you equity exposure without risk. Is this method of money management better than what you are managing today? Is this a better way to manage money? Yes or no? And if this is a better method, give me money. I'll do that. आप समझ रहे हो? What have I sold? Product or process? A simple process like asset allocation I have sold to a client. No rocket science. Even your graduate salespersons who are at front end can do this with a client. कुछ सिखाने की जरूरत नहीं है. बीटा कुछ नहीं पता. इसी से काम हो जाएगा. This sells because what have I sold? Process. Never sell a product, always a process. And it's simple. We make sales complicated. We are actually responsible for making it complicated. It's not so complicated. Always sell the process. Now, I have come to situation when my client says, okay, thank you, you told me very good thing. I'll ask my existing advisor to do this. No, that can be an objection. बहुत अच्छा किया आपने मुझे बता दिया, बहुत अच्छा तरीका, ये तो मैं अपने एडवाइजर से कहूँगा वो कर लेगा, है ना? You lose the sale. तो अब ये objection आ गया. तो what would you tell the client? If I was the advisor, I'll tell the client, is your advisor doing this for their existing client, yes or no? Is your existing advisor doing it for their existing client? No. If he was doing it, then he'll do it for you. Right? Now my question to you is, if you want to go to surgery, would you prefer a surgeon who has done already 500 surgeries or who's doing it for the first time? Eh? So 500 times who? Me. Me. It's my process. No? Will it work? Will it work? Right? Always sell a process, never a product. If you mention product even once during your sales call, you have lost the sale. Process is so powerful. But we have become obsessed with products. Mutual fund, this product, 5-star rated funds, सब बेकार है. Process बेचो, product पूछेगा ही नहीं आपसे. Process बिकना चाहिए, उसके दिमाग में आना चाहिए, process is the best. Right? चलिए. Change. Okay. Tax diversification. It's also a process. Some assets are taxed as capital gains, some are taxed as income, some are taxed as tax-free. So you need to diversify your investment as per the taxability of the investment also. That's a process. That's a process. Right? Now I come to the last step, handling objection. Handling objection, we close it. I have already exceeded my time by half an hour. So, okay. Make the recommendation effortless and certain. So how do you handle objections? How do you handle objections? There are 3 types of objections. First is other resource objection. Second is product or strategy objection. And third is cold field objections. There are 3 types of objections which you generally face from clients while closing the deal. Right? Objection 1, I already have somebody else for that. I do this on my own already. I want to check out different companies. So somebody who says, I do this all the time myself, I will draw this graph. I will draw this graph, which I have just drawn. I'll just draw it. It becomes easier on the, sorry. So I'll draw this graph like this. Here I'll write important, not important. Then I'll write urgent, or I'll write urgent. This was not important, important, sorry. Urgent, not urgent. So there are certain things in your life which are urgent but not important. There are certain things in your life which are urgent and not important. Then there are certain things in your life which are not urgent and not important. What are things in your life which are not urgent, not important? They are neither urgent nor important. They are called time wasters. No? These are called time wasters. No. This is also called the Eisenhower matrix, if somebody would have heard of this, what we are drawing. So these are called time wasters. There are certain things in your life which are urgent but not important. You know, these are interruptions in your life. Thing is urgent, you have to do it, but it's not important for you. So these are called interruptions. Then there are things which are important and urgent, right? These are things which are forced on you. Then these are things which are important, not urgent. You get this? Now please show the PPT again. Just come to the PPT again. So this is what? Crisis, emergencies, interruptions, time wasters. Now where does, you understand this graph? You understand this graph? Now where is money management in this graph? Which quadrant? Quadrant number which? Money management planning is where? 4, time waster? No. It's in quadrant number 2. All planning is in quadrant number 2. Something which is important for all of us, but not urgent. Is money management very urgent for your client? Or you? But is it important? Yes or no? No. You're not getting the point? No, I'm not getting the response. जितना प्लानिंग का काम है वो कौन से क्वाड्रेंट में होता है? लाइफ प्लानिंग, मनी प्लानिंग, करियर प्लानिंग. All of us know it's important, but it is not urgent. Yes or no? Anything which is important but not urgent should be outsourced, not done by self. Why? Because the person whom I am outsourcing it is both urgent and important for that person. Because that's his work. Getting this point or not? No. For you, managing money of the client, it is both important and urgent? For the client it is urgent but not important. So what the client should do? Outsource it, not do it yourself. Making sense or not? Everything on this quadrant should be outsourced. Right? That's first lesson I learned from this. Another lesson, if I reduce this time, right? And this time, where would I have more time? These two quadrants. Yes or no? And this is how you should plan your day, your week, your month. You should try to reduce these time wasters and interruptions in your life. And the best way to do is, you make this chart of a typical day. What are the activities I do in a typical day? Put them in 1, 2, 3, 4 quadrant. And then try to reduce these 2 quadrant activities by either outsourcing it or eliminating them. You will have more time for these 2 activities. And this is what will take you where you want to go. These would not take you where you want to go. No? Right? So this is how I tackle a client who is do-it-myself client. I can do it myself. Right? Okay. Product or strategy objection. I really don't need this product. This isn't the right strategy for me. It costs too much money. Do the clients tell you this on closing? Right? Or there will be these are most common cold field objections. I don't know if I want this anymore. I think I'm just letting to go it pass. I need to think about it. Very common. Most clients would say this. Cold field objections are most common. Yes, no? बताइए भाई. Yes, yes. So how do you handle objections? How do you handle objections? If it is cold feet objections, the trick is, if you say no, I will get a complete no. I will not get the half no. आधा no सुन के नहीं जाऊंगा. If you say I need to think about it, my question should be, what do you want to think about? Tell me. If I need to consult somebody, whom do you want to consult and what do you want to consult? You keep probing him till he says, no, I don't want it. Why? Why? Why is it better to do that? Because he is wasting your time. He is wanting to say no, he is not able to say no. This is a sophisticated way of saying no. But this sophisticated way of saying no wastes my time, because I will keep calling him. He'll say, call me after a week, call me after 15 days, call me after 30 days. He's part of my list and I'll keep on calling. So my time also has a value, na? Yes or no? My time as a salesperson, does it have value? Show that value to the client. If you want to say no, say no right now. I'll find somebody else. For me, it's not desperate girlfriend mentality, it's abundance mentality. So whenever you find objections like cold field objections and other objections, always put it down till the stage where either the client say yes or no. Get it complete. I know it's difficult doing, but it would serve you better more. You will become better salespeople if you get a complete no. Not a half no. Not a half no. Right? Chaliye. This I'll miss. We have done that. Just a minute. Any questions I am ready to answer. This was all about from me. Any questions? I am ready to answer. Yeah. Why do you need that time? He should have an explanation for it now. Is he just saying that because he wants to get rid of you now? I must know that. See, I agree, some good clients would also go. But your time has a value. Those 80% clients who want to say no and are still in your books, follow-up list, are they not wasters? So why should I waste time on them? And if he has a genuine reason, I can clarify. Just listening to him, I will think about it. Give me some days to think. I must know the reason. If the reason is genuine, I'll give him time. But most of the time, the reason is not genuine. They don't want to say no, that's why they are saying you this. That's my problem. That's a genuine reason. That's a genuine reason. When would you have money? How do I know? So you consider to other people. There are so many out there. How many percentage of Indian population, investable population, has mutual fund? So it's so big market. Why only this client? Anybody can give me money. Thank you. Thanks. Any other question anybody has? Chaliye. So thank you very much. I hope I added some value to you. It was time well spent. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.